I am very interested in rotation, cycles, and spinning forces. In capoeira is where my passion for these forces are mostly explored. One thing that interests me the most is the trigger, or the emotive cues for the giro de mão, the hand spin. What happens before, during, and especially after the movement. All movements can call an energy. Perhaps that's why we use the word chamada, to call. Here, the inner planets move faster than the planets farther from the sun. I feel this is a very valuable metaphor for the axis of the Giro. The fine-tuning of the universe gives me inspiration, not only to perform a skillful movement, but also where in my game and in relation to my camarada will my rotation be placed. Here I'm practicing a giro de mão without any relation in the game or for the game. You can see that I'm striving for a better form, better technique, which then later I will incorporate somehow into my style, into my game. But still, I'm focusing on the landing leg, linking with some movement. In this case, would be a rolê or a rasteira. The trigger for this giro de mão is a rabo de arraia, so I spin in the same motion of the movement, different from the one before that I spun against the motion of the AU. And look how as I fall on a straight leg, I'm already in a negativa, linking for a AU. In this example to follow, you can clearly see the mestre ousado attempts a relógio, and then he actually will go for a giro de mão. And that is my trigger. I see him starting to do flourishings. I see him doing floreio type movement. That's his giro. And that really excites me to just do my giro de mão. So in this case, the trigger was the other player. Mestre ousado was triggering my giro de mão. This example, we see exploring an idea. I wanted to combine something that spins upright with something that spins upside down. I call this conceptual turn. I'm trying to find different ways that trigger my hand spin. In this example, you can see the same as the rabo de arraia spin, but with the knees above the head. This creates a beautiful way to go to the floor on an even lower rolê, an even lower negativa. This type of giro de mão really can fit with your game. The game here was very close together, very small, and I managed to fit just between myself, the player, and the berimbau. Here's an example of a giro de mão that didn't quite work. It didn't go as much as I wanted. I can clearly see it's because my hand did not get close together before I spun, so I cut myself short. However, what I am then thinking is how could I link that momentum into something else? So the movement before is not lost simply because it did not spin many times. It motivated the volta por cima, it motivated the bridge moment. Therefore, the hand spin just became kind of a preparation for something else. Here's an example of a more risky attempt of a giro de mão. I'm playing a close game, although I trust my camarada, a point that is very relevant when you do a giro de mão. Are you playing with someone that you could risk something more and they would respect that moment? In this case, I am, although Mestre Sandro is extremely agile and he also sees my giro and tries to do the same. In this case here, you can see how the giro sparks something else in the entire roda. Perhaps what excited everybody is that we both understood each other's desire to develop our skill. In this next example, you can see another giro de mão that doesn't quite spin so many times, but it gives me an opportunity to totally embrace the fall and go towards the fall as if that is exactly what I'm meant to do. In this example, you can see what a failed hand spin can do. It's precisely the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I failed to spin, but I have allowed my body to do what it wanted to do. The movement itself took over and allowed me to find something new. You can also see how Mestre Primo allowed the movement to happen. He appreciated what is happening and therefore giving me space to fall gracefully. In this example, I was trying to apply a little bit more speed to my giro de mão and seeing if I could relate to that at the end by doing a movement that also required more speed, a little bit faster ending perhaps. And we come to the final clip. I consider this to be one of my best recorded giro de mão, not because I spun so many times, but because the way I felt. It was almost like this is exactly what's supposed to happen. Again, I've allowed my body to do what he wanted to do at the end of the spin.